To start recording right now. No worries.
Thank you.
All right. We are popping back over to the PowerPoint right now. Okay, so as I said, I'm pivoting in my career. I am focused on finance and corporate social responsibility. I really like the concept of corporations playing a role in society. And then my summer internship was directly connected to my experience last year with LSIC. I was following conversation and breadcrumbs to a great experience with Cisco Systems Foundation. I was looking at their endowment and analyzing it from an ESG perspective and impact lens. But you can feel free to ask me about that. Sierra, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Yeah, we'll keep it brief. I went to NAU and then have dabbled a little bit in contracts consulting and thought I wanted to go to law school, served as a paralegal, decided that wasn't for me. So I pivoted into business, but now I'm interested in a lot of like contract negotiations. I'm very supply chain oriented. So that's kind of where I'm heading. I'm both an MBA and a Master's of Supply Chain Management student. So if you have any questions about where those two intersect and how CSR can be the key value driver in that, please feel free to reach out to me. So, yeah.
Great. Thank you, Sierra. Here's the quick agenda, pretty straightforward. We already told you about LSIC. The timeline, real quick, just to touch on this. Everybody on this call, please expect a survey afterwards. And that survey will allow you all to self-select the companies or the projects that you're interested in. We had about 60 people want to participate this year. And so what that means is we have to, we'll do our best to match everybody to the projects that they want to work on. First top priority is our priority. So we'll be spending time on that. You all will be matched, hopefully in relatively short order. Our goal is to no longer than end of business on Monday, we'll have you guys paired up. And then the company project timeline itself, once they get kicked off, once you all are introduced, which basically can happen as early as next week, the timeline does extend through Thanksgiving break, and it can extend with the mutual agreement of all parties involved, and that really is up to you. And as a side note, if you all as teams decide that you want to meet in person, absolutely go for it. It was not something that Sierra and I really got to experience last year with peak COVID. I would highly recommend that you get as much face time as you all would like. And then today we're gonna start and kick off with the pitches and provide for Q&A. Sierra, do you want to jump in on this slide and then we can kick off with the projects?
Sure. Yeah. Just to keep it brief, I think most of you guys know why we're here. These experiential projects are really helpful to dive into the world of impact and see that realized and applied within these different companies. So, not only are we covering things like you're getting consulting experience, you're networking with these different businesses, you're being a part of these mission-oriented companies and trying to make an actual difference. And hopefully with that, you're getting some real world results. So I think it's pretty straightforward. We're all just really happy to have you here and check out these projects. So we can kick it off.
Right on. And this is just a quick overview of our wonderful companies. Thank you all so much for participating and being a part of this experience. We can't thank you all enough. And first on our list, Grace Dennis from Quinn. Do we have you in the mix in the audience?
I'm here. So I'll tell you a brief background of myself. I am actually a graduate of the CU MBA program from this past May. So was in your exact seat not too long ago. I manage sourcing and sustainability at Quinn, and I'm really starting to develop our kind of overall company sustainability strategy. Some background: Quinn was founded in 2010 with the mission to revolutionize food. We're a Boulder-based food company that really aims to reimagine classic snacks. We recently closed a round of funding and now have kind of a lot more resources to invest into our mission and strategy. So the project I would love your help with is to help us conduct a materiality assessment so that we can really understand which sustainability issues are most, kind of important to us from a business standpoint and most important to all of the stakeholders in the business. And I'm happy to answer any other questions later on.
And sorry for the rapid fire here. Everybody in the audience, if you want to ask Grace any questions directly right now, please feel free to use this phone. And of course, always reach out to CRRI and we can talk it through as well. Quinn is an amazing company, you all. I would definitely do a little bit of research. They are kicking off, sort of this project group from a very strong position. And as Grace said, she's not far off of where you all sat just a couple of years ago. So with that, Griffin, I believe I saw your name. Thank you, Grace. Griffin, would you like to jump in here?
Absolutely. So it sounds like this is a 30-second to a 1-minute pitch here based on Quinn's presentation there. Quinn, your company looks really cool. I hadn't heard of it. Griffin Giordano, 27 years old, actually just started a natural foods business myself, manufacturing plant-based proteins in the form of a soy-free tempeh done in a fresh frozen format. Also working on real estate development. That's the project that I have come to here today. Specifically, this is going to be a workforce housing land development project just outside of one of the most popular ski resorts in Southwest Colorado, Telluride. And that is going to be financially feasible due to a request and a need to obtain a land use variance from the local land use board there. So I have the process that would take. This is also going to involve site analysis in terms of what's possible from a dwelling unit perspective with as it relates to the MEP. And I have a whole slew of scope items that I'm hoping people can help me with. It's all related to real estate development with the focus on ground up. A lot of it, of course, since it's land development, a lot of it's going to involve market research. Everything on this project is going to have the undertone of presenting to not a regulatory authority in the sense of affordable housing, but presenting to a regulatory authority to get the approval to do the project, which is really cool. Something that is pretty prevalent in any real estate development, but especially in something that does involve some sort of partnership, again, not affordable, but some sort of relationship with the local authorities.
Right on. And Griffin is coming to us. This is one of those great sort of examples of LSIC, diversifying the projects. Griffin is our first commercial real estate sort of project, and I'm really excited that you're here, Griffin. I know that we have some real estate minded folks that we pulled into this meeting. I don't know if there are any questions at this point, but feel free to speak up, or we can keep moving along in interest of time. Anybody? All right, let's keep going. Next up, the Jackfruit Company, another fantastic company in the natural organics space. Amber, do we have you out in the audience?
Yeah, it's wonderful to meet everybody. Thanks for the time. My name is Amber Brandemart, and I am the VP of Marketing and Innovation. We basically have been in business for about 10 years, and our founder, Annie, basically pioneered a supply chain for jackfruit and has created a line under the Jackfruit Company of complete meals, which you see there on the right. And then let's see, it was December, we actually launched Jack and Annie's, and Jack and Annie's is a new brand that is targeted more towards consumers who may be reducing their meat usage, but still eat it occasionally. And so we're really have been ramping up. We just received full distribution in Whole Foods. So it's kind of an exciting time in terms of just launching something from the ground up. What we're looking for is some help with our B Corp certification. And part of this is, as you can imagine, with plant-based being such a hot area right now, there's a lot of competitive activity. And so a component of the project is also taking a look at the competitive landscape and just helping us understand what are our competitors doing and how can we be, on par or better than them. And then I think one thing that's interesting is jackfruit comes from India. So there's also kind of an international component to this in terms of our supply chain and having a chance to work with those folks as well. Our plan is to close out, the project by having you have a chance to present to our leadership team and share your findings and progress on the project. So really appreciate the time.
Thanks, Amber. This is another great project, high visibility. If anybody has any questions around B Corp certifications, or if you have any questions for Amber, somebody please ask a question at some point. Feel free to speak up.
Yeah, I have a question, Amber. So you kind of had two different pieces there. One was the B Corp certification and the other is the competitive analysis. What's the balance of those two in your project?
Yeah, I think, the competitive analysis probably can go fairly quickly. It's more just to help us think through all the different components that will feed into the B Corp certification. And the other thing I should mention is the team has done some work on B Corp certification. We were in the process of kind of restructuring our group in India. And so it's not completely starting from scratch. So I wanted to make sure there was also enough work and also just ground you in kind of the landscape as well, because it's changing so much.
Perfect, thanks.
Thanks for asking a question, Stephen. I appreciate that on a personal side. And thanks, Amber. I'm excited for your company and the projects that you're bringing to us.
Thank you.
Next up, David Fridlin at Eco Products. I believe that you are also out in the audience. It's great, another great company, folks, and they've supported LSIC for a number of years now.
Hey, John, how's it going? Thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, we've been involved with LSIC for I think 5 years at least. So excited to be back and talking through another project. I guess we have one more. Which is good. No, I think this one's pretty exciting. So if you don't know Eco Products, we are a food service packaging manufacturer. We focus mostly on compostable. Hopefully you've seen our cups and our plates and our cutlery around, hopefully at Folsom Field as well, where we're a sponsor. And basically, right, our focus is, so we put the products out in the world, that's fantastic, but how do we get the products actually to the beneficial end of life, i.e. composting? And we have a internal list that we manage of commercial composters that accept food service packaging. And for this project, the scope would be the US, even though we are international in scope at this point. And so really what I'll be asking the group to do is take that list that we have. How does that translate into access in terms of population in the US? And then how do we communicate that? Because oftentimes the challenges that we hear, there's not enough commercial composting. Nobody has access in the US, which is not where we want it to be, right? But it's not really true. There is access. There's a growing population that has access to this type of service. So we want to figure out where that number is, and we want to figure out how to communicate that. So really what I'll be asking is crunch the numbers, figure it out, and then help us tell that story. Help us support our sales team to tell that story and our sustainability team tell that story. And also help us identify gaps. We have a goal that is by 2023, help 5 more communities expand access to commercial composting. So, help us figure out where should we be pushing that we're not, where should we be talking where we're not. So also helping us to work on our strategy too. So I hope it's a tangible project that you can really sink your teeth into, gives you some really good stuff to walk away, from the project with, things that you can talk about in job interviews, and some final deliverables that you can show people once you're done as well. So really excited to hopefully work with another great group again. Thanks, John. Thanks, Sierra.
Thanks, David. Did anybody have any questions for David?
Hi, yeah, I absolutely did.
All right.
One of the things I see develop marketing tools as one of your deliverables. Is that focused on consumer education? Is that focused on getting municipalities to change their process? What's your priority there?
So we're mostly B2B. So marketing tools more around, helping our sales team and our broker network. We work with a broker network across the country who are in market to have tools to talk about composting infrastructure and kind of the challenges and also where things are at. So I think it's, in my mind, it looks like kind of, we have a full design team as well. So it doesn't need to be like a fully designed piece, but like, do you have some ideas for marketing tools that we could build and then work with our design team to actually build those? So more focused on the commercial side, the business side. We are going a little more into retail. So if there's an idea there that talks to consumers, I'm all ears. We have great connections with the U.S. Composting Council and with the Food Service Packaging Institute, Biodegradable Products Institute. So, and they're thinking about that larger kind of consumer focused marketing. So if you have an idea, we're definitely all ears and ready to support you in getting that to the right people as well. So I guess it depends is the answer.
Thanks, David. Thanks, Wolfgang, for asking that question. I love eco products from the standpoint of there are companies out there recycling PET plastics and whatnot, and this is a product that is actually compostable. I mean, I think about ocean plastics and I think about eco products, and I think this must be the way forward. So thanks for being here again, David. Next up, we have Karen Frame at McKenna. Karen, I've seen your face out in the crowd. Would you like to jump in there?
Yeah. Hey, everybody. I'm Karen Frame. I'm the CEO and founder of McKenna. And we have built a rewards app for consumers while also creating on the back end a loyalty app for brands. And our project is very different, but let me tell you a little bit about me. I actually went to Indiana University as an undergrad, John. So yay,
Right on.
way back when, longer
Yeah.
than you.
Probably not by much.
Yeah, and then, but I'm a 3-time founder in the tech space, 2-time founder of the natural products industry. I was an innovator, visionary in the field where we put interactive touchscreen kiosk systems in Wild Oats stores before they got acquired by Whole Foods and now Amazon. So I've been in this industry, in the business, for quite some time. I am a lawyer and a CPA as well. So I do have a very strong background in other types of business. And I taught entrepreneurship at the University of Colorado. So Rick is also in the Zoom meeting. Rick is our number 2. He went to CU as an undergrad, just so you know, and we are out of Boulder and down the street from CU Boulder. But, we are a B certified corporation. We are Delaware, though, a real Delaware corporation, but we got our B certification in January of 2020. And, but the project's not around that. The project's around helping us figure out a strategy and a plan to execute on getting McKenna better funded. I have been able to raise about $600,000 in outside money as a female founder, but as you see in the project description, female founders get a lot less funding than their male counterparts. Just, to level set, Abada out of Denver has raised about $173 million. We've raised $600,000. And I've built everything that we've built through our great team and scrappiness and tenacity. And just in the last 8 months, there's a lot of money being invested again, but women only got 2.2% of all those funds. And so I would love help with a project around, how are we to get more women funded? How are we going to get McKenna funded? And so that's really taking a look at the competition, how they got funded We're talking about Fetch Rewards. We're talking about Ibotta. We're talking about any other kind of mobile app loyalty space. And how can we tell our story better? Our story is more of a granola organic story, no pun intended. And their stories are more, I would say, more business oriented and maybe not as authentic. I'm not saying that they're not authentic, but their stories are probably very different. So that's the project. It's really figuring out like the strategy, the plan, and how can we get Makina funded.
Fantastic. I think there's real impact to be had here on many levels. Does anybody have any questions for Karen and McKinney Foods?
Yeah,
Well,
I
it's
have
not
one.
foods, but we're a tech platform. That's okay.
Yeah.
It's my brain's all over the place. I apologize.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, Taylor.
Lot
Tyler,
of slides going on. Yeah, hi there. Really quick, and I know this, this is a little bit of a rabbit hole question, but what sort of current traction do you have right now with the app?
We have really pretty good traction. We have a lot of organic downloads. We have about 110,000 really active, sticky consumers, and well over 100 brands, and we're getting new brands every week.
Wow. So is this the kind of thing where you're in the parking lot at Whole Foods or at at the grocery store, as you're walking in, you're grabbing your canvas bags. Are you pulling up your phone like as you're walking in? Sort of at what point in the process are you sort of opening the app to select the product?
Great question. So you can discover, find, and then earn cash and rewards through the app. So you can discover ahead of time, you can find ahead of time, and then you go in the store and you buy it, or you buy online, like on Thrive Market. Thrive Market's one of our partners. It doesn't really matter. We're retail agnostic, quite frankly. So you then have the product back at your house, you scan the UPC, you take a snapshot of the receipt, and then you start earning cash and rewards. But you earned rewards doing other things as well, not just buying product.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. We're different than an Ibotta or a Fetch. We built a true loyalty and rewards platform.
Awesome.
Wolfgang, did you have
Yeah, can you say a little bit more about what are the things that you can earn rewards for other than buying product? Can you just a few of those types of things?
Yeah. You earn rewards for sharing with your friends, taking a snapshot of the display in the store, watching a video, answering a survey, answering a poll question, providing feedback to the brand. We have like 12 action items or something like that at this point. So it's really up to the brand as to what, we have a kind of a menu of sorts as to what the brand can choose from. And it's all included. Very different platform than an Ibotta or a Fetch.
Is this the app here?
Yes, it is.
Awesome.
You got it.
Sounds like we have some interest. Entrepreneurs, come on down.
Come on down. I think Krister has a question.
Oh,
yeah,
I apologize.
Yeah, so just a monetization scheme. You talked about surveys. Are you targeting this to be a marketplace for market research? Brands get market research at a discount, or driving market research for?
Yeah. They get real-time data about the consumer. So we are the most granular. We just met with Unilever about a week and a half ago. They actually approached us. And they use all of the other competition. And they said that what Makina has built on the back end. So I'm not kind of sharing that with you right now, but we are the most granular shopper marketing data out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks. Well, I mean, we have the opportunity to become $1 billion company. No question.
Love it. There's a solid pitch.
Sorry. Do you see GDPR as a regulation comes to mind, but ownership of data being a competitive advantage or a hurdle for you?
So we get first party data, so it's an advantage, right? And the other thing is we are I'm a lawyer, right? GDPR and CCPA compliant, but we've had a lot of interest from overseas to take Makina overseas as well.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Not to cut anybody off, but we're going to keep moving. Karen, thank you for that background. another great project. Next up, we've got Doug over at Good Karma Foods, another great brand. Doug, are you out in the audience?
I'm here, John. Thank you
There we
so
go.
much. Yeah. And thanks for the pitch, Karen. That was awesome. We should talk about Makina, huh? That's great. Hey, hello, everyone. Excited to be here. I'm the CEO of Good Karma Foods. I've been running the company about 6.5 years. We're a Boulder-based, plant-based dairy company, very fast growing over the last 5 years. We have a kind of a unique position in the market in the milk segment, all allergen-friendly positioning, so no nuts, no soy, and a nutritionally dense heritage, starting with flax milk, but flax plus peas. And our latest addition to our product, which is what we call plant milk. So it's a blend of oat milk, flax milk, and pea milk. Very highly nutritious. You get the benefit of oats and creamy taste and all of the nutrition of flax plus peas. It's one of the most nutritious plant-based milks on the market. We just launched it in May, so super exciting. Not unlike my peers at Quinn and at Jackfruit and others. I mean, we are so rapidly scaling and entrepreneurial that although we use Good Karma as a filter for everything we do in the decision making, because our MO is we think good makes good. So you make those decisions. We're not very good at stopping and measuring all of that impact as we make those decisions. And so this is a really iconic project for us to pause for a minute and really go measure how much good impact we're having. And so this project really will begin with a focus on our ingredient and packaging and certification decisions, and just start to benchmark where are we in relative to dairy and non-dairy from a sustainability standpoint with those decisions we make around ingredients, packaging. And then second part of the project will be, okay, so then how do we take that information and create key stakeholder communication to be able to take that goodness message out to our stakeholders? So whether it's a co-packer, whether it's a retail or distributor partner, whether it's a shareholder or a consumer, how do we start to really put some substance around the decisions we're making every day and use that in communication? So that's essentially the project. So this is a great opportunity to partner with our team and myself and sort of be the take a breath and take a look around, measure, benchmark, and put together some awesome good makes good communication for the brand. Any questions?
Don't raise your hand. I can't see everybody's screen. Just go ahead and talk or come off mute. Just to mention, you know, Doug has, I mean, he's allowing direct access to himself and his team. He's a senior executive at a company. I mean, the learning that can go on here. I mean, this is one of those projects that I wish that I could participate from a project side. Doug, thanks so much for being part of today. One more call for any questions.
Yeah, not to bribe anyone. We have some really killer swag at our company.
That's a good draw. But the project in itself is reward enough.
Awesome. Thanks. Look forward to working with you.
Yeah, thanks, Doug. I believe I'm gonna stop sharing for just a moment. Stephen, I'm gonna allow you to share your screen, Stephen Cohen. Beyond Microgreens. That's okay. Yeah, right. Here we go.
Thank you. I participated in a pitch competition last week, so I figured I would just give you that 3-minute pitch, and very succinct and works great. Nice to meet you all. My name is Stephen Cowan. I'm the founder of Beyond Microgreens, and let me just get my notes up. Did you know that vegetables like broccoli and kale are most concentrated in nutrients and they're only 14 days old? And you can capture those nutrients by freeze drying them. And by adding those baby vegetables to your food, it turns it into a superfood. That's what we're doing here at Beyond Microgreens. We created a line of freeze-dried, shelf-stable microgreens products you can add to foods, as well as delicious teas that you can sip. These give all the benefits of microgreens without having to grow them yourself. About 4 years ago, I was in Peru and discovered the power of plants for health and vitality. So I started growing microgreens in my apartment in Denver. And I realized if I freeze dry them, they could have a longer shelf life. So I created Broccoli Booster, the first shelf-stable microgreens product in the US. Freeze drying microgreens has allowed me to expand my production and ship to customers around the country and let people get the benefits of microgreens no matter where they are. And from my apartment in Denver just 3 years ago, this is how our microgreens are grown today. Other companies out there are dehydrating microgreens. And when you dehydrate something, you're cooking out a lot of the nutrients, retaining only about 40%. So we freeze dry microgreens, which preserves about 97% of those nutrients. We're ahead of our competition with lab testing, packaging, and we're currently the only shelf-stable microgreens product on Amazon.com. The global microgreens market was 1.2 billion in 2019, expanding by 11% year over year, and will grow to 2.1 billion in 2028. We started on Amazon as it provides the best returns. As we prove we can reach customers on Amazon, it opens a huge possibility at national grocery retailers. We have great revenue. We plan to 3x that in the next 12 months. We have 1,700 online customers and 50% growth year over year. And we have a passionate and talented team and advisory board. Our big vision is to put microgreen superfoods as an ingredient into a variety of products, from baby foods and power bars to soups and supplements. Microgreens can be grown year-round in less time, space, water than mature vegetables, and require zero herbicides, pesticides, or fertilizers. Microgreens are delicious, packed with nutrients, and one of the keys to creating sustainable foods for our future. With microgreens, we can not only help save our health, we can help save the health of our planet. Thank you. And what our project is an environmental impact assessment and educational marketing graphics. We want to expand on the research that we've already done. Some of that being, what are the benefits of these microgreens? We have extensive lab testing around they're about 40% more nutrient dense than their fully grown counterparts. They require zero herbicides, pesticides, fertilizers. They can be grown in less time with less water and less space, less energy, less waste. And we want to expand on those environmental benefits.
It's fantastic, Stephen. I mean, you mentioned baby food. I have a 16-month-old, and man, I think I need to order some of your product to use as a food supplement or an additive to my baby's food.
Use code free ship. Yeah.
Free ship. Will do.
Yeah.
I'll reach out on that. And Stephen's he's won a lot of awards in the local natural and organics theater. He's one heck of an entrepreneur. Does anybody have any questions for Stephen?
Stephen, really quick, you on your slide, it said 40x more nutrients than their counterparts, but you said 40%. Is it the 40x?
Yeah, it's actually 40 to 100x more nutrients, depending on, there's lots of variables depending on the seed, the growing medium, lighting, what type of plant it is. And we did just win an award earlier this year. We won the 2001 Social Impact Startup of the Year for Northern Colorado by the National Institute for Social Impact. And that's all like validating this path of microgreens. And it's a very new path. Again, we're the only ones on Amazon today.
Awesome. Love it. I'm going to go back to sharing my screen real quick. Unless there are any other questions for Stephen, we will head over to Simple Switch. Rachel.
Hey guys. Man, I am in such good company here. All of these presentations are making me hungry and getting me excited about sustainable impact. My name's Rachel. I'm the founder and CEO of simpleswitch.org. We are an online marketplace for ethical and sustainable purchasing, essentially trying to be somewhat of a competitor for an Amazon with the same ease and convenience, but every product we have has a social or environmental impact. So our top sellers are everyday products like toilet paper, coffee, soap, shampoo, dishwasher detergent, but we also sell everything from electronics, jewelry, and each one has a type, variation of impact, several things like innovative materials and zero waste, all the way to fighting human trafficking through employment opportunities in opportunity zones. So I am just so passionate about the work that we're doing and the way that we're able to kind of change the norm for people. We're kind of trying to meet those middle people who maybe haven't taken sustainability and social impact into their purchasing decisions before because it's been too difficult. I had the idea while I was a student at CU, so love to work with CU Boulder students for both internships and this kind of group opportunity. The reason I'm here is because Sierra was on a team who helped me this spring, and it was an absolutely incredible experience. So pretty much anything that you guys do, I will be here for as long as you'll let me. Yeah, we are a 3-year-old startup. We just turned 3 a couple weeks ago and have up to this point been bootstrapped. I'm a solopreneur. So other than some incredible volunteers who are passionate about the cause and giving me their professional insights, some amazing interns and group projects like this, it's just been me. But we're pursuing some funding from either angel investors or venture capital early 2022. So one of the things I would like to discover before we step into that in a more formal way, right now we're kind of in a discovery phase. Before we step into it more formally, I would love to have some better understanding of our past marketing spend and how we can learn to make that even more efficient, because a great deal of the funding that we get will go towards marketing spend. So the project proposal for you all will be to kind of analyze marketing strategy, including email, influencer, corporate partnerships, and paid and organic social media marketing. So we have some things that are very math-based, looking at customer lifetime value based on our last 3 years, and our ad spend with things like Facebook and Google. There are other things that are a little bit more nuanced, like corporate partnerships. For instance, we work with composting companies to advertise through the buckets to let their dedicated customer base know that they can be using our app. But kind of looking at all of those things and moving forward with a more cohesive marketing strategy, one that is a little bit less scrappy entrepreneur, throw things at the wall and see what sticks, and a little bit more, let's make sure that we really have all the data cohesive and put together. I just really appreciated the deliverables that I got from a group like yours last time. And so I look forward to working with whoever gets excited about it. Yeah, let me know if you guys, I also did want to mention that I sent Sierra 5 different projects. So if for some reason you guys are like, love what Simple Switch is doing, not interested in analyzing the marketing, there are other directions we can go. But Sierra helped me narrow down and kind of pick the one she thought might be the best fit. So I just wanted to put that out there just in case.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Rachel. Does anybody have any questions? Another great, sort of entrepreneurial setup here. Any questions? Not at this time. Okay, Rachel, thank you so much. Sierra, I think I might switch it over to you to introduce our next and final company. It's last, but definitely not least.
Perfect. Yeah. So first of all, thanks for that, Rachel. That was very kind. Rachel's someone who's excellent to work with. But for our last company, it's Bridget. Bridget, are you on the call? Bridget's Botanicals is awesome. I also got the opportunity to work with Bridget last year. So both of these products are near and dear to my heart. So Bridget, if you're here.
Thank you. Yes, I am. So my name is Bridget, and our mission for Bridget's Botanicals is connecting people to the planet with enhancing their well-being through different products that we've produced, as well as education programs. So I founded the company in 2014. I am also a solopreneur, so self-funded. Besides, I've gotten a couple of different small business loans and looking at different ways, slowly but surely expanding. So we actually have about 38 different products, and I'll just show them here if you see my picture. So this is one of our tinctures. And then we also make herbal teas, and we use all sustainable organic ingredients. So when I say sustainable, it's always lots of things come up in mind, but we try to partner with local farms here in the US and source those ingredients. So with COVID, that's what changed. And along with that, instead of sourcing from larger suppliers for different botanicals, we actually shifted a lot of our costs as well. So and also supply chain got a little bit wonky last year with what I was doing. And so a lot of the shift that has happened has been towards the education programs. That's where we started as a company, is through the education programs. And we have over 40 different classes that we have taught, or that I've taught, and then some of my assistants have taught a couple. But we've also developed courses, and those come along with botanical boxes. So the botanical box essentially would have different, or has different educational materials in it, along with partnership products like a candle or a journal, and also different types of herbs prepackaged so that people can make their own different blends depending on whatever course they're taking. So the boxes have taken off pretty well. We just introduced them this year, and they're slowly building, but it is more of that, the education experience, and then connecting people to the products. So for our project, what we're interested in doing is looking at that project management. And really, I have a bunch of spreadsheets that are done, but need revising. So a lot of it is looking at projections, planning, inventory management, sourcing, looking at production costs of the products themselves, and then making the boxes and filling them up with all those goodies. So our biggest market right now has been through farmers markets, as well as just direct sales. So I've set up a bunch of different channels, and we have some good impact happening, and I'm just excited to connect people to the planet through their health, and really like different companies as well. We can get into that too. So corporate wellness through these boxes, and or like cocktail classes, healthy cocktail classes. So that is the project in a nutshell. And I've been doing a bunch of different studies around the world, looking at different botanicals and healing traditions, studied at Harvard and looked at formulation, chemistry, and pharmacology. And then I went to 4 grad schools and finally finished a master's in teaching. So I love teaching and coaching, and have been a teacher with CU Boulder, CU Boulder, CU Denver, and then Arapahoe Community College. I'm now down in Littleton. So that's Bridget's Botanicals. And Sarah, you're on mute, by the way.
Thank you so much for that, Bridget. Yeah, quite an interesting project as well, especially for lots of interest out there with product management. This would be great. There's just so many things going on with Bridget's Botanicals. So if you're interested in looking more into that or want to talk to me directly, you can too. So thank you.
Bridget, quick question. You mentioned sort of your current tools, I'm imagining like multiple tabs on some spreadsheets and stuff. Are you envisioning sort of cleaning those up and sort of staying in Excel, or are you envisioning sort of like a different product off the shelf? Like what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I would preferably use, so I have a Google spreadsheet right now, just, nice and free, but a lot of different elements right there. And so I have a lot of tabs, but then I also have a bunch of different files as well. So ideally those would be somehow all connected. So for example, we have our recipes. And so the recipe cost would be updated depending on what supplier we're using. And we would have a supplier sheet with all of our vendors. And then that would link into product cost, but also like how much quantity, and that could link to our inventory and like how much do we have left? What's our projection? What should our supply ordering and procurement look like? So it's all a really cool flow, I just have not connected it before, but I have all of those sheets and I know that they can be connected by somebody who has a nice tech savvy ability. I have looked at one software called Wherefore. It is pretty pricey. I think it's like 250 or 300 a month. And we are not at that point right now to spend on, we're already spending about 600 on software a month. So I'm not super interested in just yet investing in something else, but if it looks like it would be a really good tool and it's affordable, then I would be open to doing that.
Awesome. Thanks.
My pleasure.
Sounds like a lot of operational experience to deploy. I think we're at the end of our line. I think, unless there are any pressing questions, if anybody wants to go back in time to ask any questions of any of our participating companies, I'm going to maybe give everybody some time back in the day. Companies, again, thank you so much for representing yourselves here and providing these projects. First years, especially, please keep an eye out for the survey, and also because of the scheduling conflicts today, if you would help Sarah and I push the survey out, and the recording of this session will also be pushed out. Please help us get the word back out to the people who wanted to watch the recording as opposed to being here. And then from that standpoint, Sarah, if you have anything, I'm sorry I hijacked the middle there. Please jump in there.
All good. Thank you. Thanks for driving here, John. Really appreciate you with these tough Friday. But thanks everybody for coming out, and all of the company representatives. We're so grateful for you, and we're very excited to see where these projects go. So yeah, look forward. All students, look forward to our emails and Slack messages coming up pretty shortly, where you can give us some preferences on what projects seem most interesting, and you can bring your passion to it.
And we don't care if you play it back at 2 times speed. It's a little trick from being online last year. So play it back at your convenience. We appreciate you all being here. With that, unless anybody wants to pop in there, we'll let you all go.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you, guys.